Hello, I'm Brian Fitzgerald, the Golf Doctor, and today I'm going to show you how to make better short game shot choices. So I think it's fair to say we always have a choice wherever our ball finishes. Most people think there's only one choice, but I want to show you that there's several options, and I'm going to show you how I choose to play the shot that I play in all of the short game situations. So here's the first shot I'm going to show you. We have a bunker in the way. I'm about 25 yards from the flagstick. It's probably a good 15 yards to carry the bunker. So what can I do? Obviously, given the circumstance, putting is not an option, so I discount that option straight away. I can't putt. I could use a hybrid, but I can't use a hybrid and go for the flagstick. I could use a hybrid and go short, and then two putt from there if I was really not very confident about hitting it over a bunker or my chipping ability. That's probably a way I could save shots, potentially. If I tried to hit it and got in the bunker, couldn't get out, I'd be wasting shots. So it's a possibility that I could just knock it over there with a hybrid. I could probably putt it in the same direction as well, but that's not really the option I'm going to go for. So I'm then left with a shot that I could sort of land it over the top of the edge of the bunker and let it run up to the flag. It's also slightly downwind today, so the ball will not stop as quickly. There's really nothing much over the back of the green, all the trouble's at the front of the green. So I could do that, or my fourth option would be I could sort of land it up close and let it stop, so that high pitch type shot. So how do I do it? So the one thing I like to do, and you may have seen this happen before on TV, where golf pros are doing something like this. What they're actually doing is thinking, if I had a ball in my hand and I was going to throw the ball to finish close to that flag, what would I do? So I encourage you to do this in practice. Get out here with a few balls and think, if I'm going to throw this ball to finish close to that flag, what am I going to do? So don't think too much about the technicalities of how to do it. Just think, what's my instinct? So that's landed on the front portion of the green and that's rolled up. So that's one option. Your instinct might also be to do something different, and you might think, I'm going to get that a lot more air, land it more halfway, and that might be your option. So it's a case of, what do you think you would do? So I'm going to go for that last shot. That's the way I think I would play the shot. If I landed it too close to the edge of the bunker and I just mishit it a bit, I'm in the bunker. So as I said, there's no real trouble at the back of the green. In fact, I could probably go 5 paces beyond the green and I would still be putting from there. So I think it's plenty of room at the back. So in this situation, I'm going to take out my lob wedge and I'm going to play the shot. A couple of practice swings. Get rid of those out of the way. Pretty much exactly where that last one landed, and that's gone up a club and a half or so from where the flagstick was. So yeah, I hit a reasonable shot, but the important thing is not how I played the shot, it's how I decided the shot I was going to play. So don't underestimate the value of that throwing analogy. Now we'll go to a different situation. Okay, so now we're in a slightly different situation. Same distance as before. The only thing that's changed is now I don't have anything in my way. It's actually fairly dry, closely mown portion, putting surface, still downwind. So now I can putt it. I can also use my hybrid. I can also land it on the front of the green and let it chase up. And I can hit that pitch shot that would land up near the flag and then stop. So now all 4 of these options are possible. So I've got to try and work out what I'm going to do. So probably the first thing I do is I look at my lie, and I think, okay, lie's sitting pretty good. It's not in rough. If it was in thick rough and the conditions were thick, I couldn't putt, or I probably couldn't use the hybrid. Given the circumstances, the lie's good, closely mown portion all the way up to the edge of the green, bit of wind, a little bit bumpy, but it's not too bad. So putting and chipping is an option. So how do I choose? Should I putt? Should I chip? Should I hit the high pitch? Should I hit the chip that lands on the front edge and runs up? This is where we get back to the throwing analogy. So I'm just going to try and feel it. Now from here, my thoughts and my instinct is going to be to land it toward the front of the green and let it chase up to the back of the green. Once again, all of the trouble, well, in fact there's no trouble. I can go a little bit long and I'm still going to be okay. So it's a pretty easy situation. There's not really a bad choice to make, but I'm still going to show you how I choose. So I've got the ball in my hand. I've landed it just short of the edge of the green there, and the ball is running up. It wasn't the greatest of throw, and it's okay if you don't execute the throw very well. I'm more interested in what process are you going through, what's your instinct. So with that in mind, I'm going to think about landing the ball up short and then letting it run on. So I'm going to choose a 9-iron for this because I've still got to hit it in the air a reasonable amount. It's all very sort of fine and hard there, so the ball is going to run. It's not going to stop on me. So I think a 9-iron gives me the best option. So I'll grab out my 9-iron, go through a few little rehearsals, trying to get a feel for what length of swing I need, because it's the length of swing that determines my landing area. It's the club and the loft of the club that determines how much it's going to roll, not on how hard I hit it. So I'll have a couple, just trying to feel what length of swing I need to land there, and then I'm going to try and hit the shot. Landed just short of the green, and that's running up, and that's run up to about 2.5, 3 feet. Not a bad result. So I could have played a variety of different shots. I could certainly get the hybrid out, but I'm following my instinct. If my instinct had have been to just get another ball and just land it just down here in front and roll it all the way, then I'd be choosing between my putting and a putter and a hybrid. But I went with what I felt, which was landing it just short and letting it run up, and that's how I chose. Okay, now we're going for the third shot choice. So once again, we'll step through the possibilities. I can putt it, I can chip it with a hybrid, I can land it just on the edge of the green and let it run up, and I could play that high lofted shot. So what's my lie like, which is always the first thing that I always look at. The lie's pretty good, it's lying cleanly. It's all fine grass between the edge of the green, it's up a little bit of a slope. This green slopes right to left, so I've probably got to aim about 3 feet to the right. It's only a shot of about 15 paces or so. So for that reason, for me to hit that shot up in the air with nothing in the way, that high lofted shot's really not a good option. I would have to play an awesome shot to get that within 10 feet. So that's just too difficult. We want to play something that's going to make the whole thing pretty easy. So we can discount that high soft pitch shot. I could use a hybrid, but it's not a very long shot. So I'm a big believer in using hybrids, particularly from when the ball has to run a long way. This doesn't really have to run a long way, so I'm probably going to discount the hybrid, but you could certainly do it. I'm not going to in this situation. That leaves me with the choice of a putter, or I could play a little chip and run shot. Now let's just say that a few holes back I had a similar shot and I hit a poor chip, and I might have hit it a bit fat, something along those lines. So these things affect you in the round of golf. If I'd played the same shot a few holes back and I chipped it really close, I'm going to be going with a chip. But if I just miss-hit one a little bit, my instinct is probably going to say, oh, I don't want to miss-hit another one. So for me, the safest option is probably a putter from here, and it's not a bad choice. But if I was going to go through and go with what I think I should do and go by feel, let's go back to that same playing test and the throwing test. So if I had a ball here in my hand and I'm going to throw the ball to finish close, I'm just going to land it out to the right. So that landed about 3 paces on. You could see the ball rolling to the left. That's probably my best option, provided I've got confidence in hitting the chip shot. As I said, if I'm not confident of doing it, putting is the best option. So I'm going to pretend that my chipping's not great today, and I've just hit that chip shot, which was okay in that previous example. But let's just say, oh, I'm not feeling great today. I might just go the putter. And remember, with all this, it's not about what it looks like. I couldn't care less what it looks like. It's getting the ball down for the least amount of shots and in that hole. So for me, the putter is probably the best option. I can miss-hit this and still get a reasonable result. I've just got to get the pace right, and I've got to aim it out about 3 foot right. Got the line right, just didn't hit it hard enough. So that's probably the worst putt I could possibly hit from there. If we think about if I was chipping from here, that wouldn't be my worst chip. My worst chip would finish in a totally different spot to that. It could have finished here, could have finished over there. So the beauty of putting from here in this situation is you can hit a pretty bad putt like I just did. And what's that? That's about 2 paces from the flag. I'm still a chance to get that in. Worst case scenario, I'm down in 3. So we want to try and make this as easy as possible. Forget what it looks like, forget what you see on TV. Don't worry about what golf pros do. Do what works for you. It's all about getting the ball in the hole for less shots. So my challenge to you is to get out on the golf course and try this. And one of my favorite games is to actually take a scorecard with you, take one ball and put your ball down and hit a chip and putt it out. Write your score on the card. They're all par 3 holes. Go in different locations around the green. Throw in a bunker shot. And if you can start to make it real. We play golf with one ball. We should be doing this drill with one ball. We don't just hit all the chips first and then putt out. We make it real. We hit a chip. We then go and putt it out. We write down our score. By doing this, if you can do it for 9 holes, a score of 27 is pretty damn good. It's a great goal, and not many of you are going to be able to do it. In fact, I read somewhere recently where the average from 60 yards from the flag, and you can do this anywhere from 60 yards in, even a 2-marker averages 3.1 from within 60 yards. So if you can equate that to that game, there's going to be one of those holes they're going to make 4. So we're trying to play par 3 holes, put them in different locations. As I said, put it in a bunker. Before you play the shot though, have your bag with you like I did, and just think, if I was throwing the ball, what would I be doing when I throw it, and try and get your shot to match your throwing instinct. And if you can do that, it's going to really help you make better short game choices around the green. Thank you for letting me help you with your golf. I'm Brian Fitzgerald, the Golf Doctor, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.